Duck, you're always yawning.
I'm exhausted all the time. I'm so tired.
I know. Welcome to parenting.
I'm so tired. We're here to talk about the science behind tantrums. Our children, their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until they're the age of 30, okay? How do we get their cortisol down to a level where it's manageable so they can breathe and feel like they're in tune with their body?
I'm not good at that up to this age right now. So honestly, this is where I would pay you to help me. Doc, why are we here today?
We're here to talk about the science behind tantrums. So let's first talk about what it feels like inside your child when they're having a very hard time. This is their inner system. We want to, as parents, guardians, teachers, friends, to get them to a place of feeling this. How do we get their cortisol down to a level where it's manageable so they can breathe and feel like they're in tune with their body? So first and foremost, the science behind a tantrum is that our children, their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until they're the age of 30, okay? So that means also that parts of their brain, including the amygdala, right? A part of our brain that's the size of like an almond. It's responsible for threat perception, right? It's our brain's place of thinking, is this person a threat? Should I get emotional? Should I have a reaction? Should I feel threatened and run away or fight, right? That part of the brain not fully developed yet. And it relies heavily on our hippocampus, which is our memories. So as children, with very few things coming in as fearful, we're like over-interpreting everything. So it's really important for an adult to be able to model how we're supposed to respond to those things because their brain is still learning.
Here's what I could tell you. I'm not good at that up to this age right now. And full disclosure, I have a hard time dealing with tantrums.
But that means if you can't handle and help regulate their amygdala, they're going to go into a fight or flight response, which means their cortisol is going to increase. And that means their adrenaline is going to increase. And they're truly going to be in a place where they can't make any higher level thoughts at all. They're truly in the state of panic. And they can't think or problem solve anything that you expect them to do as an adult. And they're a toddler.
So honestly, this is where I would pay you to help me to do that because honestly, it really derives, in all honesty, it really derives from patience. I don't have the patience. And again, as I've said before, I have free advice. You know, I have a person that lives in my home that I'm married to, mom, that can help me with this, dealing with tantrums. Sometimes I'm so dead inside that I can deal with it, but that's like I think like a coping mechanism in a way, where I just roll with the dice and let them just go with it, cry it out, you know. And that's probably not the best way to do it, but sometimes, most times, I'm in a zone of getting their food ready, getting them out the door. The tantrum really doesn't faze me, but when it really is, all right, Lauryn really knows when I'm getting to my limit, and Brooklyn, you're gonna have to find a different way, or Lauryn starts taking over, and even vice versa. Like Lauryn, whenever Brooklyn is having some form of tantrum from an attachment standpoint, I'm the one that have to really intervene to say, all right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And mom is not really good at detaching. So she teaches what the book says, attachment theories and attachment styles and the whole 9 yards. And
do you even know the attachment styles?
I don't, but in general, Lauryn has the attachment issues. She.
Even though you don't know what they are.
For example, she cannot take Brooklyn's iPad at night. So we give Brooklyn the iPad.
I can. It just ends up being like a whole freaking hour, soap opera. I can. I don't want to. There's a big difference between I can and I don't want to. That's all I'm saying. It's a big difference.
That being said, she can't.
Don't want to.
She one day out of the month, I would be able to take the iPad from Brooklyn when she's okay. So what I was explaining before is that in the evening, at night, 7:50 thereabouts, we give Brooklyn her iPad. She takes it for an hour. You know, do her thing. Of course, we have all the parents and blah 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 on it. And around 8:30, we go and take it, but Lauryn is not able to do that because Brooklyn zones in on her. Oh my God, mommy, don't leave me. And then all that mom gut issues come into play in attachment, and she doesn't. So, okay, let's talk about tantrums and attachment then.
It depends.
It depends.
It always depends. So it's like, again, it goes back to tantrums at what developmental stage. So it's like tantrums are appropriate at like 2 to 5.
When does it become inappropriate?
Around 6. Around 6, it becomes like inappropriate. Like, are they supposed to have like things where they're like, oh my God, I'm having a meltdown because I really wanted this? Yes. But like, should it last 45 minutes of crying? No. Like at that point, certain parts of their body and their brain should be developed enough to regulate down. That's why you don't see like adults having tantrums unless they have like a mental illness or like they're intellectually disabled. Like you and I can be very equally disappointed, but yet we're able to keep it gathered together. We're not like having a tantrum in public. So your brain does get better at handling it as you get older. But like at our children's age, they're like prime time for tantrums right now. They're prime time for tantrums. And it's because like the part of their brain that is feeling those feelings of loss and attachment and excitement and guilt or whatever, that part is like on fire. But the part that actually knows how to like calm itself and handle and cope with it is not developed yet. So it's like this mismatch. And then this part, as this part of the brain grows and they get older, it like evens out and they can like handle it.
So a parent calls in. I remember very vividly. A parent called in, maybe I would say a year ago, and this child was maybe 3 or 4 years old, and you gave her some book. I can't remember what the specific book was. Gave her all the teaching, whatever the book said, the whole 9 yards, and literally. This mom came back 3 weeks later. And I'm like, oh my God, it changed my life, the whole 9 yards.
Sure.
Do you remember that book? What name was it?
Okay, so there's a few. I like The Whole Brain Child.
Okay.
Is one that I love.
By the way, this is not a paid subscription. It's coming. So if it's getting out there to the masses, what's the name of it?
The Whole Brain Child.
The Whole Brain Child. You're gonna have to.
You can tell it's not paid because I can't remember all the authors. All I know is like there's Siegel and somebody. But
okay.
The Whole Brain Child, I love. I love Magic 1, 2, 3. It's a very good like discipline book. The Kasdan Method to Parenting is very helpful. The Defiant Child, although I don't like the name, is very helpful. So those types of books will help like reorient somebody to like the different like their parenting practices 101. So then if it is more of like a parenting child relationship dynamic that's not matching, like using that book to then like change your practice will work. But then there also is like parents could be doing, excuse me, I'm a mom, oh my God, I'm tired all the time. Parents can be using all the right strategies, but then because their child's personality and temperament can then be like, oh, I don't know how to handle this. And then like they have to do a different approach for that child. So like that's where it depends. Like it's not like a one size fits all model for sure.
So that's where the book really doesn't come into play. But
no,
again,
but the book has different models in that way. The book is like, hey, if you have a kid like this versus a kid like this, and you have to take on a different approach. Like my sister, for instance, my parents could like give like a mean look and she would like cave in, cry, and never do it again. I'm like wrestling in the pen with the pigs. Like I'm not freaking backing down. I'm like putting black nail polish on, black like eyeshadow, and like bite me. Like we're totally two different like temperamental people. So like you can't like first exposure. I know you cannot treat every human being the same way. They're not going to respond to it.
All right. So in the event that we have a tantrum, say I don't know, it's a nighttime tantrum. I don't know how to express that. Nighttime, morning time, any tantrum there. How do you address some of those tantrums? Like first thens, they're already at a certain level. You can't do first then. Is it just more of the hugging style? So I know the book is going to explain to you, but can you explain to me from a practical standpoint of how we can do that, like right now?
I wish I could, but honestly, like if somebody were to call in and kind of tell me about their child and about the approaches they've made, it'd be easier. It's harder to, again, paint like a one, brush stroke across everybody because it depends on their parenting style and what they're doing and their kid as well. But like if they have like, let's say that they've got like a kid that's a little bit more anxious, likes to be in control, and then I, through interview and observation, deduce that this is a family that like last minute, because they're very busy, is like, okay, bath time, bed, get your pajamas on, boo, 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 boo. And then like I watch the child and I can see that child like does not do well with like last minute, like they need to know in advance what's gonna happen because they need predictability because it's their personality. And if they don't have that, they're gonna have a meltdown. So you can go through years of having that issue because the parents want the kid to conform to them, but in reality, the kid is its own human being.
So is that technically a diagnosis? Like,
no, it's not a diagnosis. That's like where, again, like some little tips come in, like, right? That's where like a professional come in and be like, hey, me not being emotionally involved, this is the dynamic I see in the relationship or within the family or within the house. So it's like, there are kids like that. Like, I feel like our daughter is very much like that over our son. Like, if she knows what's happening tomorrow, the next morning, like she loves the whole story. And then the day.
And she doesn't forget.
She doesn't, and she values it. She like wants to rely on the pattern. She doesn't like change. If it changes, she'll adapt, but she kind of freaks out. Like she's one, like she benefits from explaining versus like some other kids like Jameson, meh.
Yeah, but he's also 2, so.
But he also has a temperament of meh.
Okay.
He also was a little bit more chill than she was. Like she was very like particular about her food, particular about her clothes, particular about the day, particular about the pacifier. Like you can tell some kids are very like specific. Like he's very much like meh for the most part. So I feel like he's maybe more easygoing than her. But that's something I would advise of like, it depends again. Like I would have to, any psychologist they reach out to or any behavioral professional would have to come in and really talk to somebody, interview what their practices, their family culture or ethics or timing is like, analyze the personalities of every person in their house, and then you can make recommendations.
So then those factors, if we're now having a mom and dad disagreement as to how to address these tantrums, how could that look like? What could that look like?
If the parents can't come on board, my typical recommendation is to assign each parent a task and a responsibility. So if you have a parent that says, that like, listen, I cannot stay calm and explain this through them with this, then that parent, I'm like, okay, you're the parent that's going to remove the child from the situation. Exactly. So I would say, hey, dad, when this happens and your wife goes, we're done, your job is to come in with no words, right? Don't talk. Pick your kid up, do whatever your wife or partner says, put them in the place, shut the door, and let your partner who can stay calm and explain it do the rest. But you're the one that can actually transport them. So again, it's finding your roles in that. Because when usually we're removing a child from that situation, putting them in like a timeout per se, or like a quiet space, you want to limit your talking, like no talking, no explaining, no answering their questions. Like your mom said, if you didn't do this, you're going to go in timeout, you're going in timeout. That's it. We're not doing anything else.
That clock thing, we haven't used it in a while.
Which one?
Where you're gonna do this for 2 minutes, you're gonna do this for 3 minutes. I can't remember specifically. Where Brooklyn would do she's having a tantrum, and
oh, the timeout period.
The timeout period.
So
yeah,
the timeout period is supposed to be like a minute per year of age, roughly.
By the way, I think that's a crock.
Why? They don't understand time like you do. To them, 5 minutes feels like forever.
Honestly, really?
Yeah.
It seems like she's over there playing, and she's in her timeout.
It's not my problem if she's like imagining things in the corner. What do you want to do?
I get that. So it's a minute per year. It's what it's supposed to be. It's
for now, who knows what in 10 years they're going to recommend, but for now, it's a minute per year. They said is like most related to like their concept of time. So that it's like a good amount of time to teach a lesson, but not to put them in distress.
So if we're not at the state of that high arousal.
Okay. Ooh, arousal.
How do we try to implement that first then tactic? I see that you're being a little uncomfortable. You're having a little bit of a bad day. Do this first, then you're going to get this high reward.
2 tips, very simple. Many parents are probably already doing it, but 2 tips to help prevent these issues is to always do the first then, which is always do the non-preferred before the preferred, right? So like, I hear you, girlfriend, like Brooklyn today, she wants strawberry milkshake. I'm like, I hear you, girlfriend, you want a strawberry milkshake. First you eat your chicken, then you get your strawberry milkshake. That's not bribing. Bribing is the opposite. Bribing is like, okay. I'm gonna give you the milkshake, don't tell your dad. And if I give you the milkshake, you're gonna eat the chicken nuggets, right? That's bribing. But in reverse is actually the way that all of us operate pretty much on a daily basis. Like you work, you put your time in, and you get a paycheck, and you get paid. Like that's how it works in life. So you're actually teaching them good life skills of like, you put in effort and you get rewarded for that. So same thing. So always the non-preferred, the thing they don't wanna do, and then after they do it, do what they want to do. That's one technique.
The second?
The second one would be choices. I would say is like the easiest one that like parents can implement right away.
So Brooklyn went to feed-in therapy, and in my culture, if you don't eat the food, you go to bed hungry, and that's it. God bless America. There's a feed-in therapist. Yes, I'm not bashing. It's a good thing. The whole 9 yards. But yeah, you go to bed hungry and that's about it. However, I must say that the feed-in therapy did work with a part of that first then. So, and if feed-in therapists out there would relate to this conversation. So your kids don't like vegetables. Okay. You don't give them the mac and cheese first and the chicken nuggets first and expect them to eat the vegetables at the end. You give them the vegetables first, wait it out, do all the things, put cheese on it.
They said make it tasty.
Make it tasty.
They're like, listen, like, would you eat plain broccoli with nothing on it? Like, it's okay to put like olive oil, butter, salt, cheese. Like, what do you eat it with? Which was nice. And they taught me that like, don't give too many choices at once. That was a big one that I was doing. I was like, eat all the fruit. Pick whichever one you want. That was a big one that helped.
So, and then from there, if they didn't eat the vegetable, I have an issue. Personally, I have an issue now with apparently forcing her to eat. If they didn't give you the vegetable, apparently you have to try and break it up, where you take them out of the seat so they don't look like it's a behavioral thing.
I
where
forgot about that.
By the time they don't eat the vegetable, they know that the mac and cheese is coming and the whole 9 yards. Trust me, I had to go through that whole thing.
You're right, I forgot.
And in general, my second one is a breeze. Is like, oh my God, he eats. Thank you. So that's that choice. But then if we look back on, I had an instance with I thought was going to be a choice, but became a choiceless choice.
What?
A couple weeks ago, long day. We know the iPad is a very high reward.
Yeah.
And I said to Brooklyn, I'm either going to take the iPad or you're going to have to come and stay with mommy and daddy.
Oh.
Stay with mommy and daddy.
And I remember this night.
And I'm going to have to take the iPad.
Okay.
I thought that she was going to pick the iPad over mommy and daddy. Oh boy. She dropped the iPad, came to the room with her blanket, pillows, and her teddy bear. And I'm like...
She tucked herself in, legit.
I'm like...
4 corner tucked in.
I'm like, Lauren, how do I deal with this? How do I backtrack?
Pillow.
How do I...
You're screwed. There's no backtracking.
Oh my God, because she chose one.
It was a compliment.
And in general, that is phenomenal because your kid chose you over the technology.
Stop.
Fair,
it's amazing.
I'll take it. But how do you backtrack from what you didn't get from the response that you thought you were going to get?
Well, the only thing that we did that I intervened on was like, and we have 5 minutes to lay with mommy and daddy. When the timer goes out, you're going back. But she accepted it like a champ.
She did.
It was 5 minutes of like pure play, one-on-one time late at night with us, and it sufficed. And then we got her back to her bed and was fine. But I remember that being like a big learning opportunity for you. We're like, wow,
that was
I have
big.
to be very mindful of the choices I give and think of my child and what they would want. Because like for you, you're thinking, well, iPad rules. But to your daughter, she was like, laying with you guys is like the most rewarding.
I want to preface because the internet's gonna go, oh, Dr. Young and her husband gives her kid the iPad and blah, blah, blah. It's all in proportion, okay?
Moderation.
Proportion, moderation.
Whatever.
That being said, if the kid is playing outside, swimming, went to a kid's birthday party, there's no iPad from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, oh my God, give the kid the iPad, give yourself a break. What we don't do, which honestly we still don't go to the restaurants with our kids, because I am a firm believer on not giving the kids the iPad at the restaurant.
But can I talk about when, if you're going to, how to do it?
Okay.
So like we're not against the iPad. Like we just said, we both like we actively give it for a little bit through the day and then like at night, because which is not recommended, by the way, because like normally it's not recommended for kids to have it right before bed. For some reason, our daughter is weird. Excuse me. For some reason, she does really well with it at night. But anyway, that's not the recommended case. But the advice is if you're going to give screen time, it's to nowadays to make sure that you're giving screen time in longer, more sustainable dosages that aren't broken up by chapter or by episode. So what that means is we need to increase the sustained attention. So we need to go back to watching like a movie is actually better than a YouTube short. So I would rather, as a child psychologist, have you say, I'm gonna watch Aladdin or whatever Disney movie for 2 hours. I'd rather have that than you say, I have my kid watch 45 minutes of random things.
The shorts are impulse.
The shorts are, yes. So think about, this is how I explain like the impulse part of our brain. So it's like a rubber band. And if you're learning how to control your sustained attention, it's how you're stretching out that rubber band. So imagine you only see those 10 to 30 second shorts all the time. You're growing up with it. This is your brain. Attention, attention, attention. And you're like, oh, we have to study for like an examination that's gonna last 3 hours. I'm sorry, what?
Oh, your attention is...
Whoa, no, we are like, we don't know how to, our brain is like, no. Oh, you have to do this for a certain amount of time. I'm sorry, what? I have to, what? A move, what? No. Your attention span is as limited as the rubber band is. So you are your attention span to what you exercise. So like I always recommend if you're gonna do screen time, 2 hours, a whole movie. I want you to ask your kid what happened in the beginning, what happened in the middle, how did it end, why did it end that way, what was the character feeling, what choice did the character make? That makes a movie or screen time educational and it increases your bandwidth of your brain. Not these things they're scrolling constantly where it's like start, finish, start, finish, start, finish. You're doing yourself no favors. It's actually very horrible. The next generation's attention span is like now from 45 seconds to 10.
That's that TikTok kind of...
Yeah, it's a TikTok generation. Yep. I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's not compatible with what we have right now. We still need longer focuses of attention.
I want to be clear on everything we're saying. Don't bash us on the internet. There is nothing that we're saying here that's absolute. We're not saying one thing is bad versus the other. We have to have activities in moderation. There is different recommendations for these behaviors, vice versa. And again, don't dwell on our words in general, but we really try to, again, execute as best as we can. And we know this parenting thing is hard. It is extremely hard.
Extremely hard.
We are engaging in it right now as we speak.
Literally, while I'm looking this way, I think somebody flew by the window.
Yeah,
is that my daughter?
Babysitter, whatever. So anyways, what did we learn from today? Choices. We have to make sure that we're giving the right choices.
So first then, non-preferred before preferred. Choices, aka like also something we didn't mention is like if you're gonna offer choices to make them feel in control, always offer choices where either way you as the adult win. So broccoli or carrots, like who gives? And I get parents that like really bother.
I really wanted him to eat the broccoli.
Yeah, and I'm like, let it go. like as long as you make choices where you win. So it's like lettuce or carrots, chicken or broccoli, and like the kid will feel like they're like, oh, chicken.
It's not candy. It's not candy or candy.
Exactly. It's not like candy or chicken, really.
Yeah.
So the rule for you is obviously like don't put out options like where you lose in a situation. But if you could win either way and your kid feels autonomy, independence, that's all that matters.
That girl is yawning.
I'm exhausted all the time. I'm so tired.
I know. Welcome to parenting.
I'm so tired.
Partnership.
I yawn.
In psychology.
No, I tell my patients this. It's so funny. So I tell my patients that. I do. Like if I see any patient after 2:00, I'm yawning nonstop. And they look at me and I'm like, I promise you're not boring. I swear to God. I'm like, you're not boring. Like, this is just me and my biology. Like, if I don't have caffeine up here, like I'm yawning the whole afternoon. I'm sorry. Look at me. I talk about yawning and I yawn. I have a problem.
All right. Subscribe.
Yawn.
Like.
Hashtag share. Comment.
Share. Comment.
Review.
Should be. And again, what's the name of that thing over there again?
Metronome.
The metronome. They're not paying us for it yet. They will eventually. If anybody wants to reach out for us to pay for a metronome, that's a specific branding. Reach out to us.
We use our metronome. So if anybody wants to reach out, we will sponsor.
Young Minds Psychology, Boca Raton.
Slowing our pace. See, it works.
And cut.